Alright, it's been a couple of minutes, and you can start to see the ship's angle is increasing. We can also see some of the objects are starting to roll and slide down the hallways and decks of the ship. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am back in Floating Sandbox. It has been quite a while, but there has been a pretty major update that released, and it basically adds, well, NPCs to your ship. So little players that walk around on the decks, and, well, I guess you get to see what happens when you start sinking your ship, which is mostly what we're going to be doing in this video, seeing if we can either get the passengers to escape the sinking ship or whatnot. So yeah, we're starting out with the Titanic here, and it's doing something a little bit strange with the waves and whatnot, and yeah, should be interesting. So this is a brand new feature, so expect things not to be final, and you can sort of see that these players have made their way down to the bottom of the ship, and that's not the fault of the game creators. That's actually just because this ship wasn't exactly designed for these players. You may already know that this is a fairly old ship in the game, so it's not up to date with the most modern of standards. I've also just realized that we will not be sinking the Titanic here, because it is just plowed straight into what can only be described as the wall of death. And the passengers, well, they survived, so there's that. Alright, so here we have the ship, and to spawn the NPCs, all you have to do is go into the top left corner, press NPCs, and then press spawn human NPC. It'll give you a bunch of options. I usually click random because it just selects whatever and you can spawn it. So then you zoom into the area where you want to spawn the NPCs, and there you go. Okay, so that's quite a few NPCs now walking around on the ship. Let's go ahead and spawn in the furniture. You go to the same tab, press spawn furniture NPC, and I like to do random as well. And we can just load up the ship with all sorts of furniture and cargo. I know this is not, like, particular, like, I'm just dumping stuff all over the floor, but when the ship sinks, it's not really gonna matter, is it? So, yeah. So I'm gonna get my slice tool, and we're gonna open up the front of the ship, and yeah, that's unfortunate. We've already got major flooding in the front. So the water is, yeah, definitely spilling over the first compartment into the next here. Also, water is making its way in through the superstructure, which is to be expected. That area usually isn't super watertight. And yeah, now it's really going down. You can see all those NPCs that were in that compartment are now, you know, just swimming at this point. Looking at the back of the ship, all that furniture is starting to slide. It's crashing through these doors and going into the atrium area. There it is. Yeah, a majority of the ship is now flooded. That water is, you know, rapidly pouring in, and now we've got all these people. They might be able to make an escape if they decide to swim up, but I doubt it at this stage. Oh my gosh, this guy is going for a ride. Oh, well, there they go. The ship is now completely vertical. The furniture is still crashing down a little bit there, and there it is. A super dramatic sinking, I would say, but it looks like we have some survivors. You know, since they're invincible, they might be able to escape if the ship breaks open. Let's see, here we go. Boom, there it is. Okay, we have one person that escaped, right there. Oh my gosh, a ton of stuff is floating up. Holy cow. Escape! Be free! Oh gosh, there we go. Yes! Okay, these guys are going down. I'm going to open it up so they can escape. Yes! We have freed those passengers from basically purgatory forever. They'd just be trapped in that piece of metal. Alright, so I've got myself a hospital ship here, so I'm going to try to load it up with, you know, passengers or NPCs that would match those that would be on a hospital ship. So first things first, I'm going to spawn a captain. I'm just going to spawn, you know, a random one. Put him right there. There we go. Now let's go ahead and spawn in some officers, you know, just, you know, roaming around and stuff like that. Now I don't see any, like, nurses or doctors or anything like that, so I'm just going to spawn in the stewards here. Just a couple of these guys around. And we'll spawn in a couple of beds. We'll imagine these are like hospital beds. Just, you know, spawned around the ship and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and load up our explosion tool. We'll spawn it somewhere in the cargo compartment there. And, well, here we go. Alright, well, we've got our mine explosion at the front of the ship. The question is, will it sink? Will just flooding one compartment take down the ship? Well, that forward compartment has completely flooded, and it's now spilling into the second compartment. Unfortunately, these crew members are about to, be underwater. So, there they go. That whole space is flooding, and apparently these guys have already jumped ship. They're floating outside the ship, while these guys are just walking around inside the ship. Let's go to the back of the ship right now and see what things are looking like, and it pretty much seems like everything is normal. I mean, the list is pretty bad, but they're just walking around like nothing really happened. Back forward, it is a pretty wild scene of chaos. The water has now reached the superstructure and is rapidly flooding through the hallways. It's pouring down stairways and stuff like that, and quickly trapping those that are still below deck. So you can see that this is a problem. The water for them is actually coming down on top of where they are. It's kind of weird. You'd imagine on a sinking ship the water would be coming up from below, but at this point, it's actually coming down from above. Very, very interesting there. We're gonna, knock over this funnel here, and there we go. There it is. The funnel has collapsed. And the ship is going into sort of like a plunge mode, so the whole ship has lost buoyancy, and you can actually see it's, tilting into the air and is about to go down. We're gonna see all this furniture start sliding everywhere. Look at all the cargo going. And there it is. Now let's imagine, what would happen if the ship split right through the center, giving them a chance to escape? Well, they're getting there a little bit. Oh, well, the ship hit the bottom. I was hoping that when I freed it, these NPCs would be able to swim out, but I guess that is not the case. And you can see the crew members that did escape and the cargo on the surface too. Alright, this next ship is actually pretty unique. This is the RMS Valiant from Gary's mod. So, it's pretty cool to see it reincarnated in Floating Sandbox, but we're gonna sink it today. And we're gonna sink it in basically the way it sinks in the game. So, let's just open up sort of a couple compartments here. Unfortunately, our NPCs are not enjoying that experience. They are immediately floating with the water as it fills up those compartments and takes the ship down. And just like the one in Gary's mod, I'm going to split it in half at a certain point, so that'll be cool. But, yeah, right now the water is literally flooding down onto these unfortunate passengers here. Alright, well, we're getting to that point where we're going to split it in half, and we're going to see what happens to these passengers. So, here we go. We're going to break it in two, and there it is. Well, sort of. I broke it all the way up to sort of this top floor here, and that was enough to keep it held together. And now it's sort of like doing a V-break underwater. Oh, it's completely going upside down now. Also, by the way, there is this feature where you can turn around these NPCs. Should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but yeah, if you do want to control an NPC and where it goes, this is the way to do it. We might actually play around with this on this sinking. We'll try to take control of one of our NPCs and try to make him escape. Another thing that you can do, and this is something that I just discovered because this is actually my first time messing around with this tool, you can spawn an NPC group. So, if you just press it, boom, it gives you, 30 odd NPCs? So, let me see if I can do this again. Okay, so that just gives us more. How many can we theoretically do before my computer bites the dust here? So, I got 126. I know I can do around 200. Okay. This is getting a little bit wild now. Alright, 220. That's a lot of passengers there. Let's spawn some more at the back of the ship. Alright, we're going to do 3 groups there. 318 passengers and crew. Unfortunately, some of them are in the double bottom, so yeah, that's not great. But there are some up here. So there we go. We got furniture, We've got cargo. Now we're going to select one random passenger to try and save. And you know what? It's going to be this guy right here. This is our guy. So, with that, let's go ahead and start the sinking. So, we're going to imagine there's like a rock or something and a gash in the ship. And there it is. It's beginning to flood. All right, so we don't want this guy to fall down here. As you can see, that person just did. That means they're trapped for good. There's no way out. We can also select furniture. Oh, that's cool. We can flip chairs and stuff around. Nice. We also have some cool controls here. We can activate the cowl vents like this, and we got steam coming out, which is pretty cool. We got the forward cowl vents too. We got the foghorn. And we got the main horn. We also have the engine telegraph. So, it does move the ship forward. But, I think this would only cause us problems. So, I'm just going to stop the ship. On top of that, we have the watertight door control. So, we can close the doors and open the doors. Uh-oh. Oh, no. See, that's what happens when you don't pay attention, folks. My guy here just fell into the bottom of the ship, which just dropped our survival numbers by a lot. Alright, it's been a couple of minutes, and you can start to see the ship's angle is increasing. We can also see some of the objects are starting to roll and slide down the hallways and decks of the ship. Now, going forward, you'll notice, yeah, things aren't looking too good. There's been a lot of ingress of water, mostly through the front portion of the ship. A lot of those passengers just floating in the water, having the time of their lives. We've got this guy. He's just hanging out up there with his piano and whatever that is. So there's that. All right, yeah, it's about to plunge. So I'm keeping my player right here. You can see the water just flooded over another compartment fairly rapidly too. And this is it. It's completely vertical now. Tons of water flooding in. This is the moment. We gotta hope our guy survives here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bad things are happening. He is dead. He's going down with the ship. And it's gonna hit bottom. There it is. Well then, I think this is a good place to end off the video. This was certainly an interesting update. And if you want to check it out yourself, a link will be in the description. You can download the game for free. So with that, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. And I'll see you all next time, guys. Goodbye.